Sunseeker is open for business and I've eaten dinner there. I'm going to tell you all about it. Yo, I'm Adrienne, longtime Florida realtor, and I'm here to help you get your Florida life. Happy Wednesday, everyone. If you're new here, new videos come out every Wednesday. Please subscribe to follow along. You can also reach out and contact me or book a meeting. Check the description below. Sunseeker opened on Friday, December 15th. I had reservations for dinner at the Italian restaurant Stretto the first night it was open. Of course, I'm going to tell you all about it. One of the biggest issues that has been talked about regularly over the course of Sunseeker being built is traffic. Are we going to see huge traffic problems? Now, it has not been long enough for me to really tell you or report on this, but I can tell you Friday, the day it was open, which I think a lot of people were going to just to look, I had to go back and forth past it a couple of times, and it was really the same traffic as always. I didn't slow down significantly or have to stop. Again, who knows, that's just one day, but I thought I would report on that because I know a lot of people are interested. Our reservation was at 5:30, but we arrived very early at about 4:20. Most of the parking lot was pretty full. However, we got great parking. There's also valet parking, which from what I understand is $30. Now, it was a cloudy and kind of drizzly night, and we made our reservation early because I was thinking to myself, when restaurants open, usually the service is very slow and, there are kinks in the chain, if you will. I thought, okay, we'll get there nice and early, look around, and then we walked around on the Promenade. Now, what's funny is Sunseeker has been in the works for 5 years or so. I knew there was going to be a Promenade, but when we really walked down it, it was amazing. I have to say, wide, it's beautiful. It was cloudy and rainy, and the biggest negative I saw at Sunseeker overall is the only way to get into the restaurants, to go from one restaurant to another, is the Promenade, which overall is awesome. It's the way you would take. However, we do occasionally get rain here. It does get chilly. Most of our rainstorms in the summer only last a half an hour or so, but coincidentally, this weekend rained all weekend. I probably would have gone back at some point over the weekend to try out lunch or something like that, but I knew that I would have to walk in the rain, and I'm very spoiled when it comes to weather. Now, a lot of the seating is inside, so once you get inside the restaurants, not a problem, but going from restaurant to restaurant could be a problem. So we came to Stretto around 5. We sat at the bar first and had Sazeracs. They were very good. Our bartender told us that she had lived in the area for a couple of years and she was very excited about Sunseeker opening because she needed the job, basically. And it made me think about, I know there's a lot of naysayers out there, and I try to stay somewhat neutral on this channel, but now just keep in mind when you're talking about Sunseeker, there are local people who are on their feet all day using Sunseeker to pay their rent, pay their mortgage. So we sat down at 5:30. I will tell you, we ordered the bruschetta to share. It is one of my favorite appetizers to get anywhere, and it was fantastic. I had the pasta primavera, also very good. And then we each got a dessert. I had the tiramisu and she had the pizza and cream, which was like a fruit tart with ice cream. I will say I thought my dessert was better, but hers was also very good. The service was impeccable. We were, again, in no rush. We made this early reservation thinking it would take some time, but we had no problems. It was seamless. It was very good. I really have to say I would highly recommend going to eat at Stretto. Then we walked around. The rain had let up. It was a little chilly, but we walked the Promenade at night. There's a steakhouse. We stopped in to see if we could get into the steakhouse maybe on Saturday night, and it was completely booked. She did tell us the steakhouse is considered a 2-hour dining experience, just to give you some parameters. We walked around and looked in the food hall, which at first my mom was like, I don't want to go in a food court. I have no interest. But then when we went in, even she said, hey, this is a little bit nicer than I thought. I mean, it's a food hall, I would say. Slightly nicer than a food court. Definitely nicer than a food court, but not a restaurant. We did see beer being served, and we had just eaten, so we didn't try anything, but lots of good food in there. There were several other walk-in restaurants. I saw reports on Facebook over the weekend that there were some waits for tables, but what I've seen mostly, the reports I've seen mostly are that the service has been impeccable everywhere. So they really seem to have dialed that in. We also walked down to the pool, which the pool for the longest time was being promoted as the biggest pool in Florida, or I don't even remember, this giant pool. I don't know if it's the biggest, but it is gorgeous. We couldn't go in because we weren't staying in the resort. You have to have a room key, but I did get lots of pictures. It was beautiful. We do want to go back and stay, or at least I want to go back and stay at some point so I can report on that to you. But I would highly recommend it. Go eat some good food, have some drinks. Even if you've been a little bit against it, it's there now. At least you can have a good meal. I hope you all have a fantastic holiday. I'll be back next week with December's market update and a little wrap up of 2023. Thank you for watching. See you next week.